Hi everyone, thank you for joining my talk today. So I'd like to talk about yoga and back health and also yoga and health in general. So my story with yoga started a few years ago. Well, it started a few years ago before I had my back injury. I want to explain this part so you understand what led up to the injury, that event, and then how I got into yoga, and then how you can use yoga to heal your body. So I moved to Paris a few years ago. I started university there, and it was a very, very stressful time in my life. It was the first time that I was on my own in a new place and just learning to be an adult, and I wasn't even 18 yet. I wasn't even an adult, but having to do all these adult things, going to class during the day and carrying a really heavy backpack, which that is another thing that added on to this injury. Being very stressed out, I would go to classes during the day, and then after class I would go and I would work as a babysitter. Obviously, I didn't have that much money being in university. A lot of the meals I had would consist of chocolate croissant because when you're in Paris, it's just €2 and that's just so easy, right? But it obviously wasn't healthy. I went on with this routine, not taking care of myself, not taking care of my body, not having any consistent routine. Sleep was non-existent and stress was just through the roof. It went on like this for about half a year, and then I decided, okay, it's time to leave this place, and I can't live like this anymore. So I moved back home to Australia, and that's when my back pain started. And I just knew that it was from this half a year. Obviously, you can't know for sure, but injuries don't just come from nothing, and a lot of it is mental too. So I just knew that all this stress that I had just built up, and everything that I was doing in my day-to-day life had led me to this point. When I first got my back injury, so a bulging disc in the lower back, the pain was so bad that I couldn't walk some days and I couldn't get out of bed. It didn't matter what position I was in, but it was just very painful. And the doctor told me one of the things I should do is yoga. And I never did yoga before, and I knew of it and I've heard of it, but I didn't think this could actually help. And I was, like I said, I could barely move, so doing even simple yoga moves, even just being in a tabletop position was really difficult. But I started really, really slowly and slowly working on it and day by day improving. And well, now I'm here in the yoga teacher course, and I wouldn't have thought a few years ago when I got the back injury that I would be here today. But I wanted to explain to you how these yoga moves can actually help you with your back health. And I know you guys don't have maybe a back injury, but back injuries are something that is very common. Most people in their lifetime will experience back pain. It's really important to learn to take care of your back, to learn how to engage it properly so you're not injuring yourself in yoga and also in your day-to-day life. So I would like to explain what my injury is. In your back, you have the spine and you have the vertebrae, and between each vertebrae, you have a jelly disc. And the jelly disc can come out of its place. That's what happened to me. And it can be even worse if it comes too much out of the place. You can get numbness in your legs. And luckily, I didn't have this, but still, it can cause uncomfortable pain. And through your lifestyle, through stress, through food, through yoga and working out, you can manage this and also bring the jelly disc back into the place a little bit. So what kind of exercise is good for this is lengthening the spine and then contracting it back, stretching all the vertebrae and then back together. Imagine the disc between your vertebrae, it's like a sponge. And when you stretch the spine and then bring it back, the sponge just sucks everything, and it can heal actually and go back into its place. And to do this, you can use yoga moves. So, for example, a simple cat-cow like this, stretching the spine and then compressing it. And this movement is like a sponge for the spine. So if you guys would like to try, You can start out small, so going on all fours. And with your cat-cow, just starting out small, rounding out the back, and going back down. And you can feel your spine compressing here. And if you guys, the ones who attended my class, already know, I love spine circles. I haven't found any evidence for this to be useful for a bulging disc, but I find it really helpful with back pain. So if you just like to circle around, I think in general working on back mobility will also help to reduce any injuries that you may have. Another good position is if we just go back to child's pose. So you can stretch your hands forward, either elbows on the ground for relaxation or elbows off the ground for the stretch. Again, this move is one that is lengthening the spine. So it's very good to relieve the pain for a bulging disc or if you have any pain in your back. And then again, to compress back the spine is what will do the sponge effect and make the bulging disc suck all these, I would say, good nutrients so that it can heal. Some other good moves would be like a cobra. You guys don't have to do this if you're not warmed up yet, but I'll just give an example. So again, this is one that is compressing the back. And imagine it's compressing the sponge. And then if I push back into a child's pose, it's lengthening the back. So opening and closing, opening and closing. Other good moves could be like a lying down twist. So just like this. Again, any really twist variation, either like that or sitting up. It's ones that are really good because they're lengthening the spine. And for this back injury, you would just want to do moves that are very spine lengthening. And twisting is also good. Again, twisting and lengthening and then bringing it back is what's going to make the disc suck all these good nutrients. And in general, even if you don't have a back injury, it's good to do these moves because you want your discs to keep sucking all these good nutrients so that they can keep healthy. Another thing I wanted to talk about again was, so obviously yoga can help a lot with your physical body, but also it can help a lot with your mental state. So I was really stressed before I started yoga. Not that yoga changed me, but definitely it added things to my life that has changed my life. And I was really such a stressed person before, and yoga can just teach you so many great things, like not only to take it slow, because literally in the practice you are taking it slowly, but just the breath work, the fact that you're here in the present moment, you can calm your mind, you don't have to think about other things. So, for example, how you set your class up, this will also change how people's mood will be. If you can make some music, or if you can put some nice lighting and a nice atmosphere, this can help people to just stay in the present moment and ease their mind and ease the stress. Stress, and I can't stress this enough, pun intended, that it leads to so many issues, so many illnesses, diseases, so many things that can just happen just from stress. And I had to learn this the hard way. Really, I didn't think that stress can be such a big thing until literally it changed my life from having this back injury. And I'm really glad, not glad that it happened, but I really do believe that everything happens for a reason. And if I wouldn't have had this back injury, then I wouldn't have found yoga and I wouldn't be where I am today. So it all happened for a reason, but at the same time, my back injury definitely changed my life, and every decision I make now, this is in the back of my mind. Oh, I have this back injury, and some things I can't do, and some things I want to do that I can't do. So I just really want to emphasize this to you guys. To take care of your back is something really not to take for granted, in your yoga practice to make sure to do these moves for your spine health, to do some cat-cow, to do some spine circles every day to really get this fluid, get everything moving. Like, I don't remember who said this, but the moment you stop moving, that's when you start aging. Yeah, it's very true, and this can happen at any age. Also, when you're doing exercises in yoga, for example, the boat pose, to keep your core engaged and not to compensate in the back. And this goes for a lot of movements, not just in yoga, in your everyday life, to always keep the core engaged. And the core is not just the front of your body, but it's this whole belt area here. And you want to always keep this engaged to not compensate, because if the back has to compensate and your back isn't very strong, which is what happened to me, then that's when injuries can occur. Another good position that I like, good posture that I like to do to strengthen the back, it's bird dog. So keeping the spine straight and just bringing opposite knee to elbow and extending. This is a really good one just to strengthen the back and the core. And it's something that I recommend for you guys to practice even daily. It's a good stretch, but it's a good strengthening exercise as well. Just trying to see what else I have in my notes. In general, why I chose to start yoga, and also why my doctor told me to start yoga, it's just a very low impact sport. And because of that, it's very good. It's very lengthening, which is what you need when you have an injury like this. It works a lot on your flexibility as well, which is definitely not something that I had before. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm still reading my notes, seeing if there's anything more I want to say. But overall, I just really want to emphasize, take care of your body. Not just your body, take care of your mind. Take care of yourself. Because if you don't, there will be repercussions and you will pay for it. And really take it for me, because I'm young and this happened to me at a young age. So you don't want this to happen to you, not at any age at all. You have one body for this life, so take care of it and treat it well, and treat your mind well too. Don't overstress yourself, especially now that we're in this time with everyone had the practicum and all of this, and I know it's very stressful, but just maybe take this from yoga, learn to take it easy, because if you don't, then it will cost you later. Any questions? Yes.
I want to say thank you for the past 3 weeks. You've been helping me with my stress and, teaching me from even your experience and reminding me how important it is to not rush into things, not be stressed. I'm still at times I'm stressed, but I just wanted to say you've taught me a lot, and just
Thank you.
through observation, through sharing, but through your input as well. I think that's why I was able to manage the practicum. But your story hits home with me, because I tend to keep adding stress on my life, and it's something I'm working through. And how to not overburden or overwhelm my own system.
I'm glad I could help.
Yeah, because it definitely leads to injury.
Yeah. Mental or physical. Your body will manifest it in different ways, but you can't just have all the stress and nothing happens. It will happen one way or another. That's very true. Yeah. Yes?
For you, what's more important, the flexibility or strength?
I think it's both, but I would say more strength. So, for example, with this back injury, I've had it for a few years now, but I wouldn't say I'm at a good point with it. I'm much better than I was in the beginning, but it's a lifelong process now, and I'm really trying to work on strengthening my back, especially because my back it's my weak area now, more of a weakness than for a normal person, let's say, so it has to be extra strong. And then the flexibility helps as well, because if you're mobile and you can move all these different ways, then you're less likely to get injured. So that's important for everyone in general. Like, the more mobility you have, the more ways you can move with your body, and actually not just being able to do it once a week, but you need to work on these mobility things every day to use them all the time, then the less likely you are to get injured as well. So the back injury I have, a lot of times people get this from just lifting something heavy but in a wrong form. Always remembering to use your legs and not your back, and to have your back straight and to have it engaged when lifting anything. It happened to me before that I've lifted a 5-kilo weight, which is not heavy, and it's triggered my back pain. So really, anything that you're lifting, even if it's not heavy, to always making sure that you're lifting it in good form. And yeah, flexibility is really important as well. Yes?
This one might be too specific, but I find both those really hard because it always goes into my back. And I was wondering if you know what to do to make sure that you're using your.
Yeah. I would say this is actually a difficult one for me too, because I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything, this is my personal opinion, but I personally think it's difficult for me because my core, my abs are not strong enough. And I would say for most people it's like that, and this might be your case too. And I would say to begin, maybe doing some lying down ab movements, just like crunches or anything, like even just like leg raises like that, but always making sure that the back is flat on the ground. And then once you build enough strength here, and also in the back as well, so doing the bird dog or weights at the gym or anything, once you build up enough strength, then you will be able to do the both pose and your back won't have to compensate. But I do understand you, because I feel this too. It's not bad that your back is working, but you don't want to overdo it. You want the core to be more working on it, yeah. Any more questions? Thank you, guys. Thank you.